You see a dog across the street. Your hand is already moving. You have not made a decision. You have not thought about it. Your arm is just reaching, your fingers already curling, before your brain has even registered what is happening. And the strange part is, you do not even find this weird. You do this every single day. With dogs, with cats, with soft blankets, with velvet fabric in a store, with moss on a rock, with a baby's cheek, with anything that is round and small and soft. You touch it. You always touch it, but nobody ever told you to. So why do you? You think the answer is not cute. It is not simple, and it goes back much further than you think. Your ancestors were doing this exact thing roughly 2.5 million years ago. Not with pet dogs and soft blankets, with wild animals, with dangerous creatures, with things that could kill them. And the reason they could not stop touching those things is the same reason you cannot stop touching them today. Your brain has been running the same program for millions of years, and nobody has updated it since. Here is what is actually happening inside you when you see something soft, small, and round. Your brain releases a chemical called oxytocin. You have probably heard of it before, but maybe not in this context. Oxytocin is the same chemical your brain releases when you fall in love, when you hold your newborn child, when someone you trust looks you in the eyes. An Austrian ethologist who won the Nobel Prize in 1973 first identified this response. He noticed that both humans and animals respond with an overwhelming urge to touch and protect anything that displays a specific set of physical features. Large head relative to body, big eyes positioned low on the face, round cheeks, small nose, soft skin. These features exist in human babies, but they also exist in puppies, in kittens, in bear cubs, in baby ducks, and your brain, which evolved to respond to your own offspring with immediate protective bonding, cannot tell the difference. A golden retriever puppy activates the exact same neural pathway as a human infant. Your brain sees it and fires the same signal. Touch it, protect it, do not let it die. But why would this impulse be so strong that it bypasses conscious thought? Why does your hand move before your brain catches up? The answer takes you back to the African savanna, roughly 200,000 years ago. Your early ancestors lived in small groups, completely dependent on each other for survival. A baby that was not immediately bonded with by its caregivers would die. A group that did not instinctively protect its young would collapse within one generation. So natural selection did something ruthless and efficient. It wired the bonding response directly into your nervous system, below the level of conscious thought. It made the urge to reach out and touch something small and soft, so immediate, so powerful, and so automatic that your body acts before your mind can interfere. You are not petting the dog because you chose to. You are petting the dog because 200,000 years of survival pressure made it physically impossible for you not to. But here is where it gets stranger. The urge does not stop at babies and baby-shaped animals. You feel it with velvet, with certain textures of moss, with smooth river stones, with the corner of a soft blanket, with the pages of an old book. You run your fingers across things that have no baby features at all. So what is happening there? Neuroscientist David Linden, whose research at Johns Hopkins University has focused on the science of touch, found that the human skin contains a specific class of nerve fiber that exists for no other purpose than to respond to gentle, stroking touch on soft surfaces. Your ancestors, sitting around a fire 100,000 years ago, ran their fingers across the fur of the animals they had killed that day. Not because they needed to, because it calmed their nervous system, because it lowered their heart rate, because it reduced the cortisol flooding their bodies after a day of hunting and running and surviving. Touching soft things was ancient medicine. Your body still craves it for the same reason. But your ancestors did something even more remarkable than just touching things. They began touching live animals, deliberately, carefully, repeatedly. And what happened next changed the entire course of human civilization. The first evidence of humans deliberately approaching and touching wild animals for non-hunting purposes dates back approximately 15,000 years. Archaeological sites in the Middle East show wolf bones buried alongside human bones, which suggests a level of closeness and emotional attachment that goes beyond predator and prey. Researchers Brian Hare and Vanessa Woods, in their landmark work on the domestication of dogs, argue that the entire domestication process began not with deliberate breeding programs, but with something far simpler. A human saw a wolf, reached out, touched it, and the wolf did not run. That moment, replicated thousands of times by thousands of different humans who could not control the urge to reach toward something that looked approachable, eventually produced the domestic dog. Every dog that has ever lived, from the smallest Chihuahua to the largest Great Dane, exists because your ancestor could not keep their hands to themselves. The same process repeated itself with cats in ancient Egypt, approximately 10,000 years ago, with horses in the Eurasian steppe roughly 5,500 years ago, with cattle, with goats, with sheep. Every animal that humans domesticated began the same way. Someone reached out, someone touched something they probably should not have, and the touch rewired a relationship between species. Now think about the modern version of this. You scroll through your phone and you see a video of a tiny hedgehog sitting in a cup. Your brain releases oxytocin. You feel a warmth in your chest. You show it to the person sitting next to you. You cannot explain why. You just need them to see it too. That is not a quirk of modern culture. That is not something that social media created. That is a 200,000-year-old bonding mechanism firing in a world it was never designed for, connecting you to a stranger's hedgehog through a screen, because your brain cannot tell the difference between a real soft creature and a digital image of one. Researcher Katherine Stavropoulos at the University of California found in 2018 that viewing images of cute animals activates measurable electrical responses in the brain's reward system within milliseconds. Your brain is not waiting to decide if something is cute. It is responding before you have consciously seen it. The decision is made below the level of your awareness. You never chose to love soft things. Soft things chose you, millions of years ago, and they have never let go. So tonight, when you reach out and stroke the cat that jumps onto your lap, or run your fingers along the edge of a soft blanket before you fall asleep, or stop in the middle of a walk to touch the moss growing on a wall, you are not doing something small and meaningless. You are completing a circuit that has been running since before your species had language, since before you had cities or fire or tools, since the very first human looked at something soft and small in a dangerous world and felt, for just a moment, that everything was going to be okay. That feeling is 2.5 million years old, and it still works exactly the same way it always did.